The Galactic Coalition had ruled the stars for 12,000 years. They had found over 900 different alien species. They had conquered 300 of them. They had killed 47 others because they thought those species were too weak to live. Humanity was going to be number 48. When Coalition scouts first found Earth, they laughed at what they saw. The humans were small. They were soft. They had no claws, no armor, no natural weapons. Their ships were slow and ugly. Their technology was old and simple. The Coalition military leaders said the war would take 3 days. They were very wrong. 18 months later, Fleet Admiral stood on his flagship and watched his invasion fail. His ship was called the Eternal Dominion. It was the biggest warship in the Coalition fleet, but right now it meant nothing. On his screen, he could see Cora Prime. It was a Coalition farming world with 7 billion people. Human ships surrounded it like wolves around a wounded animal. "This cannot be real," said. His 4 eyes blinked one after another. The humans were supposed to stay on their own planet. They were supposed to be defending Earth. His officer turned to look at him. She had pale skin that you could see through. "Admiral, the human fleet went around all our defenses. They flew through the nebula." Felt his heart stop for a moment. Through the nebula, the radiation there kills any living thing in minutes. "They survived, Admiral, all of them." Did not know what to say. No one had ever flown through that nebula and lived. The radiation was too strong. The storms were too violent, but the humans had done it anyway. On the planet below, something even worse was happening. One human transport ship had gotten past all the orbital guns and defense systems. It had landed near the main city. 200,000 Coalition soldiers moved to kill everyone on that ship. The ship carried only 500 humans. They called themselves the Black Wolves. Commander led his soldiers through the burning streets of the city. He was 34 years old. He had been fighting since he was 18. His armor was black and covered with marks from old battles. It moved with him like it was part of his body. "Myra," he said into his radio, "what do you see on the east side?" Lieutenant Myra answered quickly. Her voice was calm even though she was in danger. 12,000 enemies coming toward us. They have heavy tanks. They will reach us in 4 minutes. Stay where you are. Wait for my signal." Behind, Sergeant laughed. He was a big man with a loud voice. 4 minutes. I could take a nap in that time." "Save your energy," said. "We have a lot of work to do." The Coalition soldiers did not understand what they were fighting. They thought humans were weak. They thought humans were fragile. They had read reports that said humans lived short lives and had soft bodies. What the reports did not say was that humans had been fighting wars since before they could write. Every generation of humans had known battle. Every century had brought new wars. Humans had spent their whole history learning how to kill each other. The Black Wolves were the best killers humanity had ever made. When the Coalition tanks appeared at the end of the street, did not run. He did not hide. He raised his hand and counted to 3. Then he gave the signal. The street exploded with fire and thunder. Human weapons tore through the Coalition tanks like they were made of paper. Soldiers in black armor rushed forward, moving faster than the aliens could aim. Fired his heavy gun and 2 tanks died in flames. Myra directed her squad to attack from the side. Everywhere the Coalition looked, there were humans killing them. One young soldier named shot 12 enemies in 12 seconds. She did not miss once. She did not stop moving once. She was only 22 years old and she was already better than most veterans. The Coalition commander on the ground watched his soldiers die and could not believe what he was seeing. "They are only 500, he said to his officers. "We have 200,000. How are we losing?" No one could answer him. In the first hour, the Black Wolves killed 12,000 Coalition soldiers. They lost only 3 of their own. Stood in the middle of the battlefield and looked at the burning tanks around him. His soldiers were already moving forward, pushing deeper into the city. "This is just the beginning," he said quietly. "They wanted a war with humanity. Now they have one." Above him, the human fleet closed in around Cora Prime. The coalition reinforcements were still days away. By the time they arrived, it would be too late. The galaxy was about to learn a very important lesson. Humans were not prey. They had never been prey. They were the predators that all other predators feared. And now they were angry. Coalition Commander Thresh had been a soldier for 200 years. He had fought on 17 different worlds. He had crushed rebellions that lasted decades. He had earned every medal his species could give. None of that prepared him for today. "What do you mean they are still coming forward?" he screamed at his officer. "We have them surrounded from all sides." The officer was shaking with fear. "Commander, we have killed many of them, but the rest do not stop. They do not slow down. Our soldiers are running away." Thresh looked at the battle map and could not believe his eyes. The 500 humans had split into 25 small groups. Each group had 20 soldiers, and each group was cutting through his army like a hot knife through butter. They moved together like they could read each other's minds. When one group found a weak spot, all the other groups attacked that spot at the same time. It was like fighting one giant monster with 500 arms. One human woman was causing the most damage. Her name was. She was 28 years old. In the past 2 hours, she had killed over 300 coalition soldiers by herself. "Send more troops," Thresh ordered. "All of them, I do not care how many. Kill these humans now." "Commander, that means sending 1 million soldiers against 500 humans." "I said I do not care. Do it." Lieutenant ran through the smoke and fire. Her rifle was hot from shooting so many times. She had already used 5 full magazines of bullets. Her helmet showed her where all the enemies were. 47 of them were trying to set up guns on a building roof ahead of her. "Squad 2, she said into her radio. I need you to shoot at the rooftop." Sergeant answered immediately. "We see them shooting now." The rooftop exploded in flames. The coalition soldiers ducked down to avoid the fire. That was the moment had been waiting for. She ran straight at the building. Her legs pumped hard. Her muscles burned with effort. She hit the front door with her armored shoulder and the door broke into pieces. 3 soldiers were inside. They tried to raise their guns, shot all 3 before they could fire once. She ran up the stairs. 2 more soldiers, 2 more dead. She kicked open the door to the roof. 42 soldiers turned to look at her. Their eyes went wide with shock. Started shooting. 40 soldiers. 35. 28. 20. 15. She moved like water. She flowed between them like a ghost. They shot at where she was a second ago, but she was never there anymore. Their training had not taught them how to fight something like her. 10 soldiers. 5. 2. 1. The last body fell. Took one deep breath, then she pressed her radio button. "Rooftop is clear, moving to next target." Far away, Commander Thresh received the battle reports. Each one was worse than the last. First hour, 12,000 soldiers dead. Second hour, 31,000 soldiers dead. Third hour, 58,000 soldiers dead. And the humans, not one confirmed kill, some wounded, some hurt, but not one dead. "This is impossible," Thresh whispered. "This cannot be happening." His young tactical officer spoke carefully. "Commander, I have been studying how they fight. They do not fight like us. They do not fight like anyone." "What do you mean?" "We fight to protect ourselves. We fight to hold our positions. We save our soldiers for the next battle, but the humans—" The officer stopped, trying to find the right words. "They fight like they are already dead, like dying does not matter, like the only thing that matters is winning." Thresh felt cold inside. They do not want to survive. They want to survive. But they want to win more. Every single one of them would die to save the others. Every single one would die to complete the mission. I have never seen anything like it. Then we kill them with numbers. Keep sending soldiers. Commander, please look at this. The officer showed him a map. This is where the humans started. This is where they are now. In 3 hours, they have moved 18 kilometers through our best defenses. They are surrounded by enemies that number 400 to 1, and they are winning. The map showed a straight line cutting through the coalition army. The line pointed directly at the planetary governor's building. They are not trying to survive, the officer said quietly. They are trying to win, and I think they are going to. On the other side of the city, gathered his officers in a destroyed building. They had been fighting for 12 hours without rest. Everyone was tired. Everyone was hurt in some way, but everyone was still fighting. How many did we lose? Asked. Lieutenant answered, 17 dead, 43 wounded. 17. In the coalition's history, losing 17 soldiers meant nothing, but to the Black Wolves, each one was family. Said, can you get inside the governor's building? Stepped forward, her armor was burned and dented, but her eyes were still sharp. It has 10,000 guards, heavy weapons everywhere. I can get inside. Getting out will be hard. Hard or impossible? Smiled, it was not a happy smile. It was the smile of a wolf about to hunt. For anyone else, impossible. For us, just hard. The galaxy had known war for millions of years. Great empires had risen and fallen. Powerful species had fought and died. And through all that time, everyone believed the same things. Big armies win. Better weapons win. More resources win. Humanity was about to teach the galaxy something new. The governor's building was built to survive anything. Its walls were made of the strongest metal in the galaxy. Its shields could stop a battleship's main gun. Its defense systems could shoot down missiles traveling at the speed of light. The coalition engineers were very proud of it. They said nothing could break through. They did not plan for 16 humans with cutting tools and a lot of anger. Led her team through the sewage pipes under the city. The pipes were small and dirty. The coalition builders had made them too tight for soldiers to use. They were almost too tight for humans too, but Black Wolves did not care about comfort. Whispered, put the bomb here, right on this spot. Sergeant pressed the explosive against the pipe ceiling. He was a big man and the tight space was hard for him, but he did not complain. Ready. Do it. The explosion was quiet. It made a hole in the floor above them, jumped through before the dust settled. 2 guards were inside. They were so surprised they did not even move. Shot both of them before they could understand what was happening. Clear, everyone come up. Her team of 16 flowed into the building like ghosts. They made no noise. They left no trace, only bodies. The coalition guards were good soldiers. They had trained for years. They were brave and they fought hard, but they were not ready for this. The humans moved through the building like they knew every corner already. They worked together without speaking. When one human moved left, another moved right. When one human attacked high, another attacked low. It was like they could read each other's minds. Corporal took the lead on the 3rd floor. She was a sniper who usually fought from far away, but they had lost their close combat specialist on the 2nd floor, so had to change. That was what humans did. They changed, they adapted, they survived. 20 enemies ahead, she said. They have a strong position. Use a flash grenade, ordered. Then go in fast, you first. Yes, Colonel. Threw the grenade. It exploded with blinding light. Then she ran into the room. Her rifle fired once, twice, 5 times, 12 times. When her teammates entered behind her, they found her standing among 20 dead bodies. She was already moving to the next door. Room clear, moving forward. Governor was 80 years old. He had served the coalition his whole life. He had ruled 12 different planets. The Grand Council had given him awards for his good work. Now he was hiding behind his desk like a scared child. He could hear the sounds of fighting getting closer. Gunshots, screams, explosions, and then after each fight, silence. The silence was the worst part. It meant the humans had won again. The door to his office exploded. A human stepped through the smoke. It was a woman. Her armor was black and covered with burns. Her helmet showed no face, only a dark reflection. Behind her, more humans appeared. They spread through the room like water. Their guns pointed at everything. "Governor," the woman said. Her voice was calm and cold. "I am Lieutenant of the Black Wolves. This building belongs to us now. You will order all your soldiers to surrender." Tried to speak. His voice shook badly. I cannot do that, the rules say." The rules do not matter anymore. Stepped closer. Felt fear like he had never known before. "Your fleet is running away. Your army is destroyed. In 4 hours, 3 human fleets will arrive here. They carry enough weapons to burn this whole planet." "You are lying. Humans cannot have that much power." "We do now." Removed her helmet. Her face was young but covered with scars. Her eyes were brown and held no mercy. "We learned. We built. We got stronger. That is what humans do. We survive. And when survival means burning worlds, we burn worlds." She leaned closer to his face. "You have a simple choice. Surrender now and your people live. Refuse, and in 4 hours nothing will be left of this planet." Looked into her eyes and saw the truth. She was not lying. She was not bluffing. She would do exactly what she said. "Why?" he asked, his voice weak. "Why are you doing this? We were going to give you a quick death. It would have been painless." Laughed. It was not a kind laugh. "You think we wanted a quick death. You think we would just accept being killed. Humans do not surrender. We do not give up. We do not accept death quietly." She put her helmet back on. "You tried to kill our species. Now you will learn what happens when you make humanity fight for survival." She pressed her radio button. "Commander, the governor is captured. The building is ours." His voice came back clear and strong. "Good work. The enemy army is breaking apart. Victory is close." Looked down at the shaking governor. "You should have left us alone," she said quietly. "You should have just let us live on our little planet, but you wanted a war, so now you have one." Outside, the sounds of battle were getting quieter. The coalition army was falling apart. Soldiers were dropping their weapons and running away. The Black Wolves had won. News of the battle at Cora Prime spread across the galaxy like fire through dry grass. Every species heard the story. Every planet talked about it. Every military leader studied what had happened. 500 human soldiers had conquered a world with 7 billion people. They had done it in less than 1 day. They had killed over 200,000 enemy soldiers. They had lost fewer than 50 of their own. The numbers made no sense. The battle made no sense. Nothing about these strange creatures from Earth made any sense. But the facts could not be. The humans had won. On the coalition capital world of Meridian, the Grand Council met in an emergency meeting. All the leaders of the coalition were there. They ruled over thousands of planets and trillions of people. Today they were scared. "This has never happened before," said High Counselor. She was very old and her body shook when she spoke. "In 12,000 years, no species has ever done what these humans did." Admiral stood up. He was the same admiral who had watched his fleet fail at Cora Prime. His 4 eyes looked tired and haunted. "I have watched every recording of the battle," he said. "I have read every report. The humans do not fight like anyone we have ever seen." "Explain," demanded. Turned on a large screen. It showed human soldiers fighting on the streets of Cora Prime. "Watch carefully," he said. The video showed a group of human soldiers trapped by enemy fire. They could not move forward. They could not move backward. Normal soldiers would try to escape or wait for help. But one human stood up. He was named Corporal. He was 25 years old. Ran straight at the enemy guns. He did not duck. He did not hide. He just ran. The enemy shot him 17 times before he reached them, but he kept running. He killed 12 of them before he finally fell down dead. His attack had created an opening. His friends used that opening to attack from the side. In seconds, all the remaining enemies were dead. The human was dead before he hit the ground, said quietly. He knew he would die. He did it anyway, because his death gave his friends a chance to live. The council room was silent. Every human soldier is like this, continued. Every single one. They have something they call sacrifice. It means dying for others. In their military, this is not just accepted, it is expected. Their greatest heroes are the ones who died saving their friends. That is madness, whispered one council member. Maybe, but it is madness that works. Change the screen to show a different image. Look at how they fight together. Each small group acts on its own, but they all work as one. If one group finds a weakness, every other group attacks that weakness at the same time. How do we stop this? Asked. I do not know, looked old and tired as he said these words. They are stronger than us. Their home planet has heavy gravity, so their muscles are thicker and harder than ours. They are faster than us. Their brains can see danger and react very quickly, and they are smarter than we thought. They have been fighting wars since before they invented writing. Then we must destroy their planet, use the extermination fleet, kill them all before they spread further. That will not work. Why not? Showed them a map of the stars. In the 18 months since we attacked Earth, humans have built colonies on 47 worlds. They have freed 3 of our own planets. The people on those planets welcomed them, called them heroes and liberators. The council members looked at each other with fear in their eyes. And their fleet zoomed in on one part of the map. They have 17 now, over 200 large warships, all built in the last year. That is impossible. Their factories could never build that many ships so fast. Humans do not sleep like we do. They can work for days with very little rest. Their factory workers work day and night without stopping. Their engineers work until they fall down, then wake up and work more. They have turned their whole civilization into a war machine. Admiral turned off the screen. We started this war because we thought humans were primitive. We thought they were weak. We were wrong. They are not weak. They are specialized. Everything about them, their bodies, their minds, their society, has made them perfect for war. What do you suggest we do? Asked. I do not know, looked at the floor. I used to think the coalition was the most powerful force in the galaxy. I used to think we could defeat anyone. Now I am not so sure. The council sat in silence for a long time. We will send more fleets, finally said. We will attack their colonies. We will find their weakness. And if they have no weakness, then we will make one. Even monsters can be killed. But deep in her heart was not sure. She had seen the recordings. She had watched the human soldiers fight, and she had seen something in their eyes that scared her. They were not fighting because they had to. They were not fighting because they were ordered to. They were fighting because they wanted to, because war was in their blood, because battle was as natural to them as breathing. The coalition had ruled the galaxy for 12,000 years by being the strongest. But now something stronger had appeared, and it was hungry. 6 months after the battle at Cora Prime, the war ended. It did not end because the coalition surrendered. It did not end because humans conquered every planet. The war ended because the galaxy finally understood what humans really were. The final battle happened above Meridian, the capital of the coalition. This was the center of their power. This was where they had ruled from for 12,000 years. The human fleet arrived without warning. 300,000 soldiers. At the front was a massive ship called the Indomitable. It was humanity's first super battleship, built in secret, armed with weapons no one had ever seen before. The ship's commander was Admiral. He was 60 years old. He had fought in every major battle of the war. His hair was and his face was lined, but his eyes were sharp as knives. "Admiral," said his tactical officer, "the coalition fleet is forming up. They have about 800 big ships." "I see them," studied his screen calmly. "Signal all ships, formation Omega. We break through their line in one attack." "One attack, Admiral, are you sure?" "One attack. We are not here to fight a long battle. We are here to send a message." The battle lasted 4 hours. By the first hour, the coalition had lost 200 ships. By the second hour, they lost 300 more. By the third hour, the survivors were running away in every direction. Their formations were broken. Their courage was gone. Did not chase them. Instead, he moved his fleet into orbit around Meridian and waited. The Grand Council contacted him within minutes. "This is High Counselor. We want to discuss peace." "There is nothing to discuss," replied. "Here is what will happen. You will surrender completely. You will give up all your military forces. You will end the coalition government. You will give us control of all the territory we have taken, and you will pay us for trying to kill our species." "Those terms are too harsh. We cannot accept them." "Then we will destroy Meridian and move to the next planet, and the next, and the next. We have shown that we can take your worlds faster than you can protect them. We have shown that your soldiers cannot stop ours." Leaned forward in his chair. His voice was cold and hard. "You tried to kill all of humanity. You called us primitives. You thought we would be easy to destroy. Now you know the truth. We are not prey. We never were. Humans have spent their whole history getting ready for this moment, getting ready for the day when someone would try to destroy us." He smiled, but there was no warmth in it. "We are humanity. We are the wolves at the door. We are the nightmare in the dark. We are what happens when you threaten the wrong species. Now, High Counselor, you have a choice. Accept our terms or learn what happens when you make wolves angry." The coalition surrendered 3 days later. In the years that followed, historians argued about why the coalition lost. Some said it was their pride. They thought their technology would win easily. Others blamed their old way of fighting. They could not change fast enough to beat human tactics. But the soldiers who fought in the war knew the real reason. The coalition lost because they made a simple mistake. They thought humans were young, so humans must be weak. They thought humans had known war, so humans must fear war. They could not have been more wrong. Humans did not fear war. Humans were born in war. They grew up in war. War had made them strong. Every human culture, every human nation, every human generation had known fighting. And when the galaxy pushed humanity into a corner, when death seemed certain, humanity did what it had always done. It fought back. 5 years after the war ended, generals stood before a memorial on Cora Prime. The names of the fallen black wolves were carved into black stone. 53 soldiers who had given their lives to change history. Colonel stood beside him. She now commanded the new Galactic Peace Force. "Do you ever think we went too far?" she asked quietly. Thought about her question. No. The coalition spent 12,000 years killing species they thought were too weak. If we had not stopped them, they would have done the same to us. But now we are in charge. What makes us different from them? Because we do not want to rule the galaxy. Touched the memorial stone gently. We just want to live in it. These soldiers and in all the others, they did not die for power. They died so their children could grow up safe. Nodded slowly. The coalition called us monsters. They were not completely wrong, smiled. It was a tired smile that had seen too much death. We are monsters, but we are monsters who protect our own, and now the galaxy is our own to protect. Above them, human ships flew across the sky. They were guardians now, not conquerors. Across 1,000 worlds, species that once feared the Coalition now looked to humanity for protection. Not because humans were kind, not because humans were gentle, because humans were strong, and in a universe full of predators, strength was the only thing that mattered. The wolves had found their place at the top, and the galaxy would never forget the moment they learned what a human elite army truly was. The end.